Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we're going to be continuing Naruto DxD, Rise of the Dragons. What if Naruto was in HighSchool DxD, Season 2, Part 2 of the Remastered edition. As always, if you're new to the channel or if you're a regular and you like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. So as we grow on into Season 2, we're approaching the midway point of Season 2 as the first half is 6 episodes and the second half is 6 episodes. So I do want you to all keep that in mind as we are moving forward. Now, there are some changes that are going to be made going past Season 2. I am trying to use more of the manga and light novel material since Season 3 does differentiate a lot. So do keep that in mind, but we are still going to be continuing with this story moving along. And I hope you will enjoy everything that's to come. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Naruto, Kiba, Koneko, Zenobia, Irina, and Shiro, aka Issei, who hadn't revealed himself, would begin their search for Freed and for the Holy Swords. They decided to split up into groups of 2, Shiro going with Naruto, Kiba with Zenobia, and Koneko with Irina. Naruto still had to keep his promise to Rias, to make sure that whatever involvement that they had in this affair was kept on the wraps. And he promised to keep that. He didn't want any of his friends to get hurt in the process of this mission. And he wanted to try to bring some comfort to Kiba, after all he had been through. As Naruto and Shiro continued their journey and their walk together, they would begin a conversation. It was lighthearted for the most part. Naruto learning a bit more about Shiro and his upbringing, and Shiro learning more about Naruto. Of course, this was the boy that had been raised by his birth parents. Now, some of you may be wondering, why was Issei taken away? Wasn't he supposed to have died from a miscarriage? Well, you could say it was an act of divine intervention. Issei in this timeline was not born with the power of the Red Dragon Emperor, but with the power of gold. It was in that moment that this power, it couldn't be allowed to go to waste. It was sought after early. As such, those from the great beyond, those who served under Michael, made the arrangements. The boy would have appeared to have died from a miscarriage, and as such, the parents would be sent on their way, unexpectedly coming across Naruto. This was able to fill the void that they had been missing in their heart, while Shiro was escorted, taken to be trained in the heavens above. Of course, Issei would eventually come to learn of the truth, learning of his origin. At first, he was a bit upset to learn that he had been taken from his home, but he had been raised in such a way that he understood the reason. He understood his purpose, his calling. And it wasn't like he couldn't go back one day. He just hadn't found the right time. Every now and again, he would get a glimpse as to what was going on back on Earth. He would see his birth parents raising a young child by the name of Naruto. At the very least, they had been able to find happiness in their life, and the boy, he had found a home as well. Issei actually viewed Naruto like his brother in every way. But how could he explain that to him? And now, as if by a cruel twist of fate, they found themselves on the opposite side. It could potentially lead to them fighting one another. After all, they both contained a dragon within, and the dragons were known for conflict. But for now, he pushed that out of his mind. As he and Naruto continued on, it wouldn't take long before the group would find who they were looking for. None other than freed Selzen, wielding his holy sword rapidly. With Naruto, Shiro, and Kiba all combining their efforts to try to pin him down, it was easier said than done, as his sword gave him the power of speed. A speed that could not only match, but could actually surpass all three of them. Naruto using his boosted gear to boost up Kiba's speed just to give him a chance in the fight. Naruto would also assist from the back. Using the Uzumaki chakra chains, he would attempt to hold Freed in place just long enough, as both Shiro and Kiba would appear from the right and the left, ready to strike him down. However, another being would arrive, an older man dressed in priestly attire, his name being Vulper Galilei. He would explain to Freed that he had to pour more of his own inner power into the blade for the blade to feed back its strength into him. When the two became one, that was when he could truly gain the mastery. And this proved to be effective, as Freed's speed would once again surpass the group he was fighting. Kiba would be left extremely angered at the sight of Vulper, the one who had been responsible for the Holy Sword project, who had put him through his hell. Vulper was surprised to see that Kiba had survived, although for him it was of little consequence. He and Freed would disappear just as quickly as they had come, and now the group were left on a chase once more, a chase that continued endlessly into the night. Of course, Naruto and the others would still go to school the next day, well, except for Kiba, who had decided to skip in order to continue his search, and once classes were over, Naruto and Koneko would be following quickly after. However, before leaving, Naruto would check in with Rias, who would ask how the hunt was going. He would tell her of what they had discovered, and Rias would warn him to be careful. Naruto and Koneko would continue onwards, looking once again. However, this time, the trouble would find them. It would be in the form of Koneko and Irina being under attack, Freed causing an ambush, attacking and wounding the both of them before stealing the Sword of Mimicry. It didn't take Naruto too long to figure out that there was trouble when Koneko gave him a call. Thankfully, each member of their search team had a flying Raijin kunai. Thus, Naruto could get to them in a hurry. When Naruto and Shiro arrived, a great deal of worry and a strong sense of anger washed over the both of them. For Shiro, or Issei to be more specific, seeing someone he had grown up with in such pain, to have been harmed in such a way, it caused his anger to flourish and rise. And it was the same for Naruto as he helped Koneko. Rias, along with Tsubaki and Sona, would also arrive. Asuya moving in to help them with their healing as best she could, and the others would follow not too long after, just in time to catch Freed as he was celebrating his conquest. Looky, looky, what we have here. A devil hunting party. Oh boy. Looks like you guys want to have round 2. Well, I'm down to play if you are. That's enough, Freed. No need to be in such a rush. The entertainment's soon to come. The group would look to the sky as they saw someone flying above them. Among the group was Rainier, and a flash of horror would be etched across her face as she saw him. For a moment she backed away, fearful. However, the mysterious figure locked eyes right on her. Going somewhere, Rainier? How is that any way to greet an old friend? Rainier, you know this guy? Naruto would ask. It's Kokabeel. Master Kokabeel. What are you doing here? Don't ask questions you already know the answer to, girl. You of all people should be familiar with what's been going on. Everyone would turn to Rainier in that moment, wondering what he meant by this. Of course, Rainier explained everything that she could to them when she first joined, how she had been working for someone, a member of the Fallen Angels, that wasn't actually their leader. It was Kokobile. However, she didn't want to reveal all of the information she had, primarily because it was a part that she would rather much forget. A treacherous woman is what you are. I have the right mind to kill you, but your death will come soon enough. If you want to try to get to Rainier, you're gonna have to go through us first, asshole. Naruto stood ready for battle, and the others following suit. However, Kokobile would only continue to grin. Two incomplete dragons looking to challenge me? I can feel a great deal of power within you, Fox Boy. But you should remember to fight in your weight class. You're still eons away from giving me a real challenge. Kokobile, what is the meaning of this? Rias would ask with authority. This town is under my protection. The trouble that you're causing here, it could potentially spark yet another great war. That's the idea, sister of the king. You are a spitting image of your brother, Sir Zex. It sickens me. All this time, all this effort, I will not let it go to waste. Are you looking for conflict? But of course I am. For so long, we've all been toiling away in anguish. Everyone becoming dulled, their blades no longer having the sharp edge they once did. The Great War. Oh, those were such glorious times. A time where there was nothing but chaos and rampage all across. And yet now it's all been taken away. I will gain back my glory, and I will have fun doing so. I'm going to start with this town. Maybe that will catch the attention I'm looking for. With that, Kokobile will launch an attack, causing everyone to take cover as he and Freed would flee. It became very clear where they were going to. The school. That was going to be the ground zero. Rias would be horrified at the repercussions of this. If Kokobile got his way, then this could be the ground zero for the next great war. Not just engulfing this town, but the entire world. For everyone, they knew what was at stake at this moment. There was no point in wasting any time. Everyone would quickly move back towards the school immediately. Both Irina and Koniko would be taken away to have their wounds tended to by Tsubaki, as Sona Seatree and Rias Grimmery would make the proper preparations. Even with calling Sir Zex, it would take him an hour to arrive along with his forces. And that was all the time they were going to have. They'd have to hold it down for however long they could before backup could arrive. Rias would, however, be confident. Having her household to help her, she believed that they were more than enough to hold down and defeat Kokobile here. Naruto would stand at the ready, as the signs for battle were approaching. Naruto and the other members of the House of Grimmery, along with Shiro and Zenovia, all prepared themselves for the fight that was to come. The barrier had been made around the school by Sona and the House of Sea-Tree, hopefully to keep all of the damage contained to that area, and whatever was destroyed could be rebuilt later. Cocobill waited as Valper Galilei was working on the final preparations, but wanting to give his opponents some entertainment, he summoned the three-headed dog and the guardian of the underworld in Cerberus, the three-headed dog itself, as it would come from the ground immediately and attack the group. Naruto would stay back as instructed by Rias, to boost up the boosted gear to its max and to transfer the power to them, to allow them to fight at full capacity. While doing so, Naruto would create a platoon of shadow clones to assist in dealing with the Manjing Mutt, as the clones would use the Uzumaki chains to hold it down, long enough for Koneko, who had managed to recover quicker than Irina, to deliver a serious strike to the back of one of the dog's heads, while Kiba and Zenovia would slice it down with their blades. In the meantime, the preparations had been complete, the battlefield emanating in a golden glow, as the final product had been made. A fused holy sword, one capable of using the powers of the 4 blades that had been sheathed within it. And looking to see what it could truly do, Freed was given full range to test out its abilities. The fused blade had the power of rapidly, enhanced speed, mimic, extension, nightmare for illusion, and transparency for invisibility. Freed would become a monster on the battlefield, appearing and disappearing in various spots. Multiple Freeds appearing out of nowhere, only to be realized as nothing more but illusion. Freed was almost impossible to hit, and was able to keep them at a distance with his blade. Naruto would manage to get in just close enough using the Flying Thunder God Jutsu, arriving behind him as he slammed the Rasengan. However, Freed managed to block with the blunt end of his blade, the two colliding and sending them both flying in opposite directions. Kiba would use every sword he had available, but Freed managed to strike him down time and time again. Valper continuing to laugh and mock at Kiba, feeling as though all of his struggle was in vain. It was then that Valper would let his mouth continue to run, as he became more and more arrogant in himself, mocking how Kiba and his other friends had been used to create the object that he held before him. It was a blue gemstone, known as a holy stone. You see, in order to wield a holy sword, which was something that was rare for most humans as only few had the capability, the ones that were capable were only able to do so because of what was known as the holy gene. The problem is that a lot of humans don't create enough holy gene power. As such, they are incapable of wielding the blade, except for the rare few who have enough on their own to wield it without the need. However, Valper found another way. If you extract the gene from the individual, you store it up enough, you could create a holy gene crystal, and you could bestow that power to wield a holy blade onto anyone. Of course, this often resulted in the death of those who had the gene extracted, but that was the price that was paid. For Valper, he was truly disgusted. "How could you, Valper?" Zero would say. "You had the full trust of those who were behind you, and yet you would stoop to such acts." Zenovia was also irritated. Even though she wielded a said holy sword, even she did not like the means in which they were able to do so. "You damn children. You condone my acts. But yet, even still, you are all the product of my research. They expulsed me. They called me a heretic. They said that what I did was blasphemous, but yet they were willing to use my research for their project, creating artificial gene. But tell me, what is fair? In the end, they still used my knowledge for their own benefit. In the end, you're all nothing more but hypocrites. Kiba, however, would only be filled with a stronger immense of sadness. He and his comrades always believed that everything they did was for the good, for the betterment of mankind. And yet now they were nothing more but guinea pigs, test subjects, a means to an end. Vulper would callously throw the stone back at his feet. That stone in particular was made from the last of the test subjects, Kiba's comrades. He would remark that they no longer needed to use human sacrifice anymore. In the end, what they had managed to create was much more better and optimal. In the end, that power was obsolete at best. Kiba, however, would clutch the crystal, a strong wave of emotion washing over him. Truthfully, he didn't know why he survived that night. He didn't have any dreams, desires, or goals. None so like the people he had come to meet along the way. However, those children, they had ambition, true dreams and desires. So why was only he the one allowed to live through that nightmare? However, in the midst of his grief, a strong aura would shine around him, the souls of his comrades coming through the crystal, comforting their friend Kiba, freeing him from the guilt and from the burden that bogged him down his whole life. They would infuse themselves within, allowing for their will to become one with his, to increase his power to a level never before seen. The power of the holy gene now entered within Kiba. When combined with the power he had gained as a devil, it allowed him to create something new, something out of this world, so to speak. A power of contradiction, the power of the holy devil sword itself. Zenobia would be impressed with the outcome, as she too revealed her true power, as she wielded the unchained sword Durandal. Of course, for Vulper, these revelations were beyond anything he could have imagined. For one, a contradiction within nature, holy and devil power, two beings that were as opposite as light and dark. They could never be joined together as one, and yet this sword was living proof. And on top of that, Zenobia was able to wield Durandal. As she revealed, she was one of the few that didn't need to receive the power of the Holy Crystal, as she had the power to wield the Holy Sword itself naturally, being one of the rare exceptions. Together, the two would make quick work of destroying the fused Holy Sword and making short work of Freed. However, as Vulper was taking in this new knowledge, these new truths and revelations, something else had become clear. No, this can't be. For a sword like that to exist, for the laws of nature to even be tipped in that way, then it's true. Then that means he's... Before he could finish that sentence, Kokobeel stabbed him with a spear of light, disintegrating the human and having him fade into the nothing. Oh, Vulper. In the end, you came pretty close to figuring it out. Couldn't let you spill the truth so quickly. But all the same, there's no point, no reason to give them any more. After all, these fools, they fight for a master that no longer exists. You've already lost. What do you mean? Ciro would ask as he wielded his blade Ascalon. Zenobia pointing her Durandal, and Kiba standing with the Holy Devil's sword. They were trying to inquire what Kokobel meant by a master that was already dead. Naruto stayed back, the boosted gear needing to reset, as he had to once again work it up to max to use its full potential. The others attempted to buy him time, however, Kokobel was able to send them all away. They continued inquiring of Kokobel's words until finally he let the truth slip. The truth was that after the last Great War, God and the original 4 Devil Kings had all died. This was a revelation that was ground-shaking, one that even Riest found overwhelming and unable to believe. Poor Asya couldn't even contain herself. Rainier also was in shock, along with Akano, Zenobia able to only just barely hold herself together. And for Zero, he couldn't believe it. It couldn't have been true. It couldn't have even been possible. But Kokobel revealed that there was much to this world that many did not know. The only reason why the system still remained in place was because after the last Great War, all 3 factions had lost so many members, they could no longer repopulate the way they once did. It was why humans had to be converted in the first place. It was the only way they could stay afloat. But for Kokobel, none of that even mattered. What mattered was that he was so close. The battle was just entering into its grandest of climaxes, and then it just came to an end? And what was worse is that that fool of a leader, Azazel, said that there would never be another war. But no. The dragons were now starting to reemerge. More and more powerful sacred gears were coming into the world. The swelling of power was starting to become too big to ignore. Kokobel wanted a battle, a true glorious contest, a true test of wills and of mights. And yet it seemed as though everyone was just willing to forego that for this sham of peace. For Kokobel, he didn't care, because ultimately, no peace would truly last in this world. It was just a matter of if the next fight was going to start. It was just truly a matter of when. The way he saw it, it was like a match that hadn't been lit, just waiting to burn. He decided he would be the one to spark that fire. He had believed that stealing the holy swords would get Michael's attention, but the only thing he sent were 2 would-be swordsmen, a few priests, and an incomplete dragon. And what was worse was that the House of Grimory, that was said to be one of the more famed and powerful households, had a tendency for bringing in the trash and calling that true competition. As Kokobel eyed the 2 dragon emperors, both Zero and Naruto, standing side by side in that moment. The boosted gear had now reached its maximum peak. Naruto's chakra would begin to flare as the boosted gear amplified its strength times 10. I see. Maybe you do have some way of entertaining me. Hey, Dragon Boy? Zero. Yeah, what is it? It doesn't matter. What? Right now you're feeling a lot of mixed emotion, but right now that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is stopping him, here and now. I know that. It's just, for so long, from what I've been taught, from what I was told to believe, forget it. Look, I don't mean to be disrespectful to you or to what you believe, but deep down, the only thing that matters is what you do. Whether we like it or not, backup's not going to arrive in time. This town and everyone we care about in it is going to be destroyed if we don't stop him here. Listen to me, Kokobeel. Truth be told, I couldn't give a damn about a thing you just said. It doesn't matter if a god is real or if it's not. What power you choose to believe in. The only power that matters is the power that I can possess here and now. You don't need to worry about getting a fight with the Devil King or with God. Because right now, your opponent is me. And I will be the one that defeats you. Zero. Yeah. Let's do this. Drag. Boosted gear. Go. The echo of boost would ring through the air. Naruto standing on guard as he put his fingers together. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu! A plethora of Narutos would appear all around the battlefield. Kokobeel, seeing that, he was almost outnumbered 1,000 to 1. So, this is your power. Making multiple copies of yourself. It doesn't matter how many times you multiply a zero. In the end, the value is still a zero. But you're more than welcome to come at me with everything you've got. I plan to. The Narutos would all barrage and move towards Kokobeel. Kokobeel would create 2 swords of light in each hand, fending off every Naruto that came his way. The multitude of Narutos would throw and empty out their shuriken holsters as they all yelled in unison. Ninja Art! Shadow Shuriken Clone Jutsu! 1K! Immediately, the thousands upon thousands of shuriken would fall upon Kokobeel. He had no choice but to block as many of them as he could with a wave of energy, but they still rained down upon him. Eat shuriken, asshole! Shurikens rain! The multitude of shurikens and kunais fell upon him, stabbing him in his wings and in his back, causing him to yell out in pain. Zero would move in next. Ascalon, Blade of the Dragon! Morgana, I need your power. I know we haven't been able to link up as well as we can, but please give me everything you have. Holy Sword, Slasher of the Skies themselves, I now beseech upon you. Calling Dragon, Blade of the Wind, strike! Zero would launch a slash from Ascalon, a large slashing attack of wind moving towards Kokobeel, as he held up both of his blades in a cross-like motion, looking to block against the attack. Don't worry, I'll back you up. The original Naruto would follow behind through a series of hand signs. Ninja Art, Trifold Wind Jutsu, Wind Dragon Hydra! Instantly, 3 large wind dragons would go barreling through with the wind attack launched by Zero. The combination slamming into Kokobeel, as he used every ounce of his strength just to be able to fend it off. At that moment, Naruto would once again launch a multitude of flying rising kunais, as they all went falling straight towards Kokobeel, as he slashed and hacked away at each single one of them. However, only one had managed to get past him, clipping him on the cheek and drawing some blood. Is it the best you got, boy? I won't be beat with cheap tricks! However, before Kokobeel could launch an attack, Naruto would appear behind him and Zero from the front. Ninja style, Flying Thunder God, level 3, Dueling Assault. From behind him, Naruto would wield a large Rasengan, and from the front, Zero would come through with his Ascalon. Now, Ascalon! Odama Rasengan! Kokobio would be slammed from the back while being slashed across his chest. He would yell and cry out in pain once more, before blasting away at the both of them. Kokobio could feel the blood falling from him as he took a deep breath, slowly standing back to his feet. In the meantime, both Kiba and Zenovia would use the free opening they had been given, Kiba slashing away at Kokobio's ankles, while Zenovia would use Durandal, cutting at his arm. Both Akano, as well as Rainier, would rain down their combination attack. Light paralyzing Sinbon. Little needles of light, incharged with the lightning style of Akano, would rain down on Kokobio, shocking him and paralyzing him in place, before finally, Rias would come in for the finishing strike. The Crimson Lightning of Destruction, raining it down straight towards Kokobio. In the flash of light, it would seem as though they had managed to deal a considerable blow. However, much to everyone's surprise and to their horror, Kokobio would rise from the crater he had been left in. He had managed to regenerate just enough, with a sadistic grin on his face. Oh yes, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, you kids are good. If only you had another millennia, then you could give me a real challenge. A challenge? That's what you think they are? Everyone would look to wonder where that voice had come from, as the barrier itself would break down around them. Sona and the others would have no idea what had happened. On the battlefield itself, a new being had appeared. Someone in dragon armor that shined as white as snow, as clear as the full moon, with gemstones as deep and as blue as the deep seas themselves. What are you doing here? Vanishing dragon. I was ordered by Azazel to bring you in no matter what it took. I must say, if you think that these fools are a challenge, then you were never much of a threat to Master Azazel. In an instant, the new combatant would rip away at the wings of Kokobio, forcing him to the ground as he yelled, desperately trying to fight off the likes of the White Dragon Emperor. However, his attempts were futile, and just as quickly as he had come, Kokobio was no more. If you thought what I did to you was bad, then you don't want to know what Azazel has planned for you. Oh, this is a lovely mess. What the? I didn't even fully see what he did, Naruto would say. Neither did I, would say Shiro. Are you just going to ignore me, Albion? Yes. It has been a long time, brother. Brother, sister, you both are here as well? Dreg and Morgana. Has it been so long, Albion? Morgana would speak through the blade of Ascalon. That you would forget us? I haven't, although I must say, it has been a long time since three of us have gathered in one place. Yes, we are still destined to fight, would speak Dreg. Hold on a second, Naruto would chime in. What's the big idea, you know? Who the hell are you? Settle down. You are an emperor. You should behave like one. Don't worry. You and I will meet again soon enough. With that, the White Dragon Emperor would disappear, and the battle was over. Of course, there was still much that had to be taken care of after the fighting. Many things that would have to be repaired. In the meantime, Irina would eventually recover. The 4 cores from the broken holy swords would be collected. Both Irina and Ciro could take it back with them. However, Zenobia would not be joining. Ciro knew the truth, but Irina did not. Irina believing that she had been betrayed by her friend, who had now turned over to the other side. However, Ciro knew why Zenobia wasn't coming back. If it wasn't for his status, he would have faced the same fate. However, Irina wasn't entirely focused on that, as she looked towards Ciro as the two of them walked away. Naruto would call to them in the airport. "Hey, Ciro!" "Huh?" "You said after the fight was over, there was something you wanted to talk to me about." "Oh yeah. We'll talk, Naruto. I promise." "And Zenobia." Ciro would turn to her. "Take care of yourself, okay? Watch after Irina. You know how she is." As Ciro and Irina walked to board the plane, she couldn't help but ask him, "I know we have what's going on with Zenobia, but why didn't you tell him the truth, Issei?" "How do you tell someone that you're their brother? Or that you tell them why you were taken away from your family? Things are already on thin ice right now. Who knows how he'd take that type of news? Could potentially start a war or something even worse. It's alright, you don't have to worry. I'll tell him the truth soon enough. But for now, we gotta get these back where they belong. And I think it's time." "Really? But we just lost." "It's okay. There have been some other candidates we've had in mind." "Her? But you know she doesn't like you, Issei." "Hey, I can be persuasive when I want. The last time you tried to be persuasive, you were in the infirmary for a month." "It was worth it, though." "Oh my god, you're such a pervert. You're supposed to conduct yourself better than that as a representative of Michael." "Hey, I conduct myself just fine. If anything, I make sacrifices. I could be a whole lot worse, you know." Yeah. Still, you want to bring that together?" "Well, it was going to happen sooner or later. No point in delaying the inevitable." "I guess so. We're going to have a lot to discuss when we get back." As their plane flew away, Naruto and Zenobia would leave the airport together. As the two of them made their way back to the academy, Naruto could see that something was definitely bothering her. "You alright, Zenobia?" Naruto would ask. "Truthfully, I'm not entirely sure. I've been branded a heretic for learning the truth, and now I've been accepted by you all. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure I deserve it." She would turn to Naruto as she bowed. "I was terribly rude to you and to Asuya. I know I can't fully make up for what I've done, but for what it's worth, I'm truly sorry." "Hey, it's water under the bridge, no need to worry about it." "But it's not. I spoke so harshly without knowing the truth. I now feel as though I understand just a little bit of what Asuya has had to go through. Yeah, it hasn't been easy for her. But truthfully, she's one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I mean, not just her. Rias, Rainier, Akano, Koniko, Kiba, all of them. It doesn't matter what they go through in life, they're always able to keep moving forward. Sure, they haven't been dealt the best of circumstances, but they've been able to make a home out of this. And I'm happy that I can be a part of something like this. And for what it's worth, I'm happy that you're here with us too. What exactly is your dream in all of this, Naruto? Well, call me crazy, but you know how there are 4 Devil Kings? Each one with a distinct title. Well, I want to create a 5th title. A title that will rival theirs. You want to become a Devil King. And the 5th? Well, yeah. I have no desire to fight for any one of the other 4 titles. Instead, I want to make my title mean something to this world. A title that will stand on par with all of theirs. And just what would this title be? It'll be the title of Hokage. As they would join back with the other members of the club room, everything would proceed on well, with Rias happy that they were able to come out of this encounter all the better for it. And she had managed to get her 2nd knight to add to her household. They had all decided to go out for karaoke, but Naruto was going to be running a bit late. He and Rainier had gotten caught up, as Naruto had to stop and see one of his clients before they would meet up with everyone else. And since Rainier was already with him, she figured she'd tag along. After all, Naruto could just show up with Flying Raijin anyway, so there was nothing to worry about. The 2 of them would arrive to the condo that Naruto usually hung out with this old rich dude, and the door was already open. They walked inside and sat on the couch together. You don't think he'll mind me being here, do you? Rainier would ask. Nah, he's pretty cool and laid back about things. Besides, it's not like we'll be here for too long anyway, I think. The guy usually just makes small talk and conversation. We have plenty of time. Oh, you arrived, Naruto? And I hear you brought a friend. They would hear from the other room. Naruto? Rainier would ask. Who exactly is your client? I don't know. Hey, old guy, what's your name? Oh yeah, I never did tell you my name, did I? Well, your friend knows me pretty well. Don't you, Rainier? As he stepped into the room, Rainier would be horrified. She was so petrified, she could hardly speak. How do you know Rainier? Naruto would ask. Naruto, that's... Huh? Well now, Naruto. You asked for my name, but you haven't been entirely upfront with me about yours. After all, Naruto's not the only name you go by. Isn't that right, Red Dragon Emperor? Naruto immediately pulled out a kunai. Rainier, get behind me! Who the hell are you? How do you know who I am? I know a lot of things, Naruto. I'm a collector. A collector of rare artifacts, sacred gears, and of knowledge. Multiple black wings would appear behind the man as he smiled sinisterly. I am the Governor General of the Fallen Angels, Azazel. Nice to make your acquaintance. This concludes Naruto DxD, Rise of the Dragons. What if Naruto was in HighSchool DxD? Season 2, Part 2. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for Monday's video as we continue Boruto The Last Shinobi, How to Fix the Boruto Series, Part 2. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.